Okay, yeah, it's not on my end. That's just the video. Top 10 illegal moves. Okay. They're one of my games.
That's a piece, but at least the bishop on h6 stops C1. 13 seconds left for Fabi.
Who made the illegal move?
Nice one. Rook A1. Now he can make a queen, but so many pawns are leaving the board.
Oh, he waited. Oh, he pressed the clock.
Oh,
yes. He did the Rex Sinkfield blunder.
Wait a second. What just happened? Did Fabiano hit the clock? Wait, I don't remember this. Wait, let me go back. Oh no, Fabiano, like, wait. Actually, maybe, did they get this one wrong? Because Fabiano just never hit his clock, or wait, what happens? Wait, let's watch this again. Wait.
Rook A1.
So I make my move.
Make a queen, but so many pawns are leaving.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So Fabiano, as he tries to go and reach the queen, he hits the clock with his elbow. Oh my gosh. And when he went to take the queen, see this, it's just like, it's like football. I mean, it's like you have the tuck rule or something. It's like, soon they're gonna have to do the replay of, was it with the intent when he went to get the queen that he hit the clock? Was it with the intent or not? But this has happened before, by the way. I made the same mistake where I promoted to a queen. Are we gonna have like the replay booth where it's like with the intent or without the intent? Because actually, as I watch this back, it was a mistake, but of course in the heat of the moment, no one's looking at how exactly it happened. And Fabiano here is probably surprised too, because Fabiano doesn't remember hitting the clock, so he's like what happened? How's this clock running? Because he didn't realize he did that. So that's why Fabiano also is completely confused as well.
The board.
Oh, he waited. Oh, he pressed the clock.
Yes. He did the Rex Sinkfield blunder.
Oh, no.
He promoted his...
Yeah, because see, Fabiano's like, he's like, what happened? I didn't hit the clock. Because Fabiano didn't really hit the clock. He just accidentally hit it with his elbow. So like Fabiano's like, wait, what? How is his time running? I didn't hit the clock. But he did hit the clock with the elbow. That's pretty rough.
His pawn
He promoted his pawn without trading for a queen.
Right, he didn't put the queen on the board. He pressed his clock before promoting his pawn.
But he didn't press his clock. That's the thing. He didn't press it. His elbow just did it. That's the problem.
Happened to me in Berlin. It's an instant loss.
It happened to you. You lost or you won?
I
Is
lost.
that what happened?
I don't know.
We gotta see if that is exactly what happened. I don't know if we can pull up the instant replay.
They might need to find the instant replay.
What is happening right now? It looked like.
It seems like Tony's explaining that it didn't.
Wait a minute. He's saying it did not.
Because he didn't press his clock.
But
he did press it. I mean, that's the thing. Like,
clock was up.
Well, we have video.
But they are continuing the game as if.
It looks like they're adding time.
Why is it that it's not an instant loss?
I don't know.
This is bizarre.
Will have to come. I see 0, 0, 0s
They're
on the
resetting the clock somehow.
Okay.
But I don't understand. If you do this, it's supposed to be. If you're playing along FIDE rules, maybe they're not playing FIDE rules.
I'm sure they are.
Because it doesn't look like Nakamura is objecting.
Maybe an incorrect claim. Maybe Fabi didn't press the clock and then he's getting time for an incorrect claim. That might be why they're adding time.
But then we can go for a video replay, which we will.
It looked like the clock was up. Anyway, the game is continuing.
The game is continuing,
and Nakamura does not look happy.
I think they're adding time to Fabi's clock. That's the only explanation.
No, they're adding time to my clock.
Fabi's clock?
Well, if Naka made an incorrect claim, wouldn't that be the only way that it would make sense to continue again?
13 seconds. The
Okay,
game
well,
is
here we
continuing.
go. The game continues, and now the D pawn will.
I think that game ended in a draw, by the way. But yeah, I by the rules, to be clear, that should be an instant loss. But there's also something of a fun match. It was a fun match in St. Louis. So to be fair, like there is some sportsmanship that should be shown. It's not like a game like the Grand Chester where, like, you know, if that's a win for me, I make like $20,000 more or something. That makes a difference too.
8-6.
But I mean, but to be clear, by the rules, you guys, that would be a loss. That would be a loss. Maurice is right that it would be a loss. To be fair, it didn't look really fun, right? Well, I mean, yes, it was serious, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things. No, actually, the way it works by a legal move, you guys, is that I believe if there is not an arbiter present and you make an illegal move like that, what's considered a legal move, pushing a pawn without promoting, then it's an automatic loss. That's my understanding of the rule. They may have changed some rules because of that Magnus clip before, but those were the rules, I believe. But it depends on if there's an arbiter or not an arbiter. That's actually, I think, the most important distinction.
Taking that pawn.
Rook to D3. Gary defending like a beast. What's the threat? This move threatens Rook H1.
h1.
Or bishop.
Rook h1's a threat. Rook h1's a threat.
Okay, rook b8.
And
How do you
he's
stop rook
reaching
h1?
Rook g3. Rook g3. Ooh, rook g3 queen.
Okay,
Ooh.
bishop f4, preparing to bring the bishop back.
And
now
he's
had to leave the
now
b8
there's
square.
the queen.
He's had to leave the b8 square. Oh, he didn't queen. He hit the clock.
He hit the
Okay,
clock.
One illegal move is not a forfeit anymore.
No, it's not a forfeit.
It's a penalty.
It's a penalty. It's a time penalty.
Well, I think they're going to get the arbiter to come over.
The arbiter won't matter at all because he'll just get a warning, and I think Gary.
It's funny because a few years ago the rule was much more draconian.
Oh my goodness.
That you actually just forfeited if you.
Gary just claims the win. Yeah, he just claims the win even though he's wrong. So they even explained that they changed the rule, and Gary just gets up and says he wins. As you know, he just decides it. Gary just decides that the game is over. It's just over. I mean, it's just over. he just got up and left. Yeah.
Years ago, wasn't that rule just changed?
Of course, Carson didn't let me make this move. He has two possibilities to play bishop d2 or to play rook e3. What he did, queen c5, again threatening to take the pawn on c2. And now we have both 10 seconds, rook c1, rook a to b8, h4, rook b4, f6, I play g6, I could have taken on f6 instead, but it's difficult to understand what's going on with 5 seconds on the clock. c4, rook e to b8, bishop takes h6, rook takes b3, and now I'm even better, rook c2, e1, rook b2, and you see that Magnus took the e3 rook first and tried to protect the queen on f2 by playing rook 3 to e2, but while moving the rook e3 to e2, he noticed that in that case I will just take the queen on f2, and after rook takes f2 I will win the rook by playing rook takes f2. That's why he tried to change his mind by playing rook 1 to e2, which obviously is not allowed by the rules of chess, and I told him that, and by leaving the board he showed me that he resigned.
This one, yes, this one also.
From that side.
Well, why not? Oh, he touched the king.
Touched the king.
He touched the king.
Yeah.
He touched the king.
Yeah, this one I actually we can talk about this one too.
That is.
But I think what happened is like I think what also, by the way, I will add one other thing with this.
He touched the king and he said,
with what happens here. Just to be clear, yeah, I think I did touch the king. And I don't even remember this clearly. But what I would add about this is that Levon also said something after this game, which was, or not after this game, but at the moment, that was very inappropriate as well. He used some curse words, but I will leave it at that for the moment. But yeah, I did touch the king, I think, and I kind of didn't realize it at the time. But yes, I did touch the king.
Now there is something. Yeah?
well,
So that's what I add for that one.
that's... Well,
Yeah. No, I would not have become world champion even if I had drawn the
All of a
game.
sudden, what a chance for a
oh,
Ronin.
yeah, but it's not a chance, it's winning.
It's
But
like-
that's one.
Okay,
And I think what happened is like
Rises from the board and
when
he's smiling.
I did
That's
touch
why
the
the
king as well. I
other guy-
remember
Well,
this.
smiling about this
Was that when I touched this king? I think I just simply forgot that I touched it at the in the heat of the
don't
moment.
You
He
cannot.
said it,
Well, I doubt it.
No, he used a
clearly
curse
touched the
word
king,
actually.
Yes, yeah, no,
He used
I
a
mean,
certain
I just
curse
don't know
word that
what he was-
started with an M.
You cannot
I think you guys-
say,
I think you guys
just
know what
after
it
you
is.
touch the piece, right? So it's a little bit.
That's all that I need to say about it.
F6, no.
And I didn't make a moment. I didn't make a scene out of it at the time, but I will add that. Oh my gosh, V did as well. Rook B2. Yeah, this one's classic as well. And now they have to start the clock again. Oh my gosh.
Rook to b8. Yeah, and in blitz, you know, you don't want to take on c6. You prefer knights over bishops, that's I'm sure. No, he takes because it was a blunder. Now on king c6, there is bishop d5 check. King b6. It's not that tricky. Rook takes b7 is a possibility. Where white wins the... Yeah, rook takes b7. White wins a pawn like this. It's an illegal move, knight e3. It's an that's incredible. What has happened? What has happened?
A custom loss in this case.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It's totally illegal.
By the way, I will say about this one though, all the other ones were kind of in the moment accidents, but this is the one, this is out of all the illegal moves that I think you're going to see in this video, where it was actually, I think, an intentional illegal move that that Anarchiev played here, because there is no way in this position that you don't realize that you're in check. I would say out of all the clips you're going to see in here, this is the one that I think was intentional by Anarchiev, and it's on Magnus that you didn't realize it, but this is the one that really is dirty because it was intentional. This is the one out of all the clips where it was 100% intentional, and also because the reason he did it, I'll tell you guys why. Because the way that he understood it is when he makes a check, if Magnus doesn't call the illegal move here. If Magnus doesn't call the illegal move in this position and makes a move, then he's ready to go and claim that Magnus made the illegal move, and Magnus loses the game. And sure, I mean, you could say that he can not do this and take the rook and lose the game, which of course is what normally would happen anyway. But the thing is, when he does it, it's like that's really kind of bad. 100% intentional. How can you say that? Can someone say the same thing about you touching your king? Well, the difference is that I touched the king and it was not intentional. I didn't realize it at the time. Now, yes, I touched the king, I moved the king, but in this one, you cannot say that when a rook is right next to the king that it's not intentional. There's a big difference. Whereas this one, he basically does it because he wants to call out. He wants to call him out. And apparently, people say that this happened later on as well, right? Where Dubov, there was a game between Anarchiev and Dubov where Dubov did this too. So there's a big difference. Big difference here. In terms of trying to compare these. Big difference. Dubov, is it true? Does somebody have a clip of that? But the thing is, Magnus didn't realize. I mean, Magnus in the moment, I think whatever, he got confused, like everybody does get confused, and so he just moved the king. Now, the amazing thing about this is that I think after this game they changed the rule, so that if let's say someone makes an illegal move and the other person makes another illegal move, the game goes on or something as is, or it's like I forget what the rule is, but they actually changed the rule after this game. But that's, you think, oh, Dubov is in the same video? Oh no, don't tell me Dubov's in the same video. Wait, let's watch.
Move 93. It's an that's incredible. What has happened? What has happened?
A custom loss in this case.
I'm not sure.
It's totally illegal.
Kiev played an illegal move.
Custom should stop the clock. If he plays another move, that means it's illegal. He lost.
Really? So Kiev won the game like this, you mean?
Yes, I think.
That's incredible.
Oh my God.
That's really incredible.
Yes.
I mean, this is. But how is it possible? I mean, you make an illegal move and you win. You make an illegal move.
Yeah. I know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the sound is so bad, but the result was overturned later on. The result was overturned.
Something with rules of chess. I'm sorry for that, but really the commission who makes those rules, I mean, they have to work out on this one, because you are not supposed to win a game by making illegal moves.
Yeah.
What is this? Hikaru versus Magnus, okay. Okay, game goes. Wait, there's not gonna be another illegal move, is there? No, okay, good. Okay. Oh, it's a pawn on g5. That's why you can't see it clearly. Okay. So yeah, so basically it's first legal move, you get more time now.
I think this is not the position. Now we have the right position. 96.
Okay.
At least we are able
check.
to.
Oh,
and the king went under the.
This is the so-called illegal move, but illegal move doesn't lose it anymore. Now let's find out.
Yeah, illegal
Let's
move.
find out what's happening.
I told you there will be some drama, right? So basically, they're also asking for an arbiter because I believe Chinese player believes that she's supposed to win the game immediately, but indeed the rules were changed recently and now it's no longer.
Yeah, she should get some
rap.
extra time, no? I guess she should get extra time.
She'll get an addition of couple of minutes, which probably will not affect the game that much at this stage.
But usually setting the clock takes time, yeah?
Setting the clock takes time. Yeah, I wish the position would be, you know, a little bit
more
less
dynamic,
one-sided. Yeah,
exactly.
A little bit less one-sided because, honestly, I mean, I don't believe.
I don't think it should be a loss, by the way, for a legal move.
There is a way you could do it on purpose if you feel like I really desperately need time to calculate. So I make an illegal move. My opponent is claiming a legal move. He will get some extra minutes, but this gives me time to stay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a nice way to do it, but who knows? Okay.
No, I mean, from her face expression, it was clear that
it was clear she was
that
surprised.
She was shocked herself.
So first attempt didn't really work. You can see arbiter resetting the clock. So that's, I mean, that would be a fine, funny episode, if not for the fact that it's actually on board one between two leaders.
Yeah.
So king b5. King b5.
Okay. Yeah, it's king d4, king d4 like, wait, what? Yeah, Magnus seems too agreeable. I mean, I think he also, it's you know, it's Blitz games. Things happen in Blitz. All right, so that was the first video I want to cover. Let's see, what is this one?
Just for a second. Nepo, yeah, there is no... Where is Nepo? What happens?
Oh, by the way, you can see me here. I'm playing in the background against Peter Savitler here.
I mean, we wanted to see Nepomniachtchi was discussed, but where is Nepomniachtchi?
Okay, Nepo had a very tough game against Grishuk.
Yeah, I can imagine, but what happens? And you can see Magnus is not happy with this.
Magnus is not happy,
I can
of
imagine
course.
Magnus is not happy with this.
This is very
not the way.
unpleasant.
This is not the way he wants to win this game.
Yeah, he kind of feels like he wants to stop the clock, wait for the opponent, and play the game.
Yeah, this is
really, really unpleasant.
So, by the way, to be fair, also, I would be annoyed as well. To be clear, I'm sure there are situations where I've been at the board and someone doesn't show up right away, and I would be annoyed as well, because when you're playing Rapid or Blitz, like, the last thing you want to do is, like, win a game because someone loses, like, 5 minutes at the start. So, like, I would be just as annoyed as Magnus is here.
In that Nyapo will have to play a game against Magnus with 1 minute, like in bullet mode.
1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Okay, let's go back. I hope he shows up.
What does that look by me? What does that look? What does that look by me?
1.5 minutes. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I don't know what I'm doing there. It's like that is really good.
1.5 minutes. Okay, let's go back. I hope he shows up. Hope he shows up. And as far as we can see, the game between Nepomniachtchi and Carson still did not start.
Okay.
Yeah, this is very
I was informed that the game has just started. I'm not sure, what happens with the time in this case. And Magnus makes a draw, I was told. Makes a draw against Jan Nepomniachtchi, a quick draw, which is understandable, and I would find it to be a nice gesture by Magnus Carlsen, not really pushing this game, because it was clearly an accident.
That's a good video too. Yeah, that's pretty funny.